Well, it's Wednesday, the 10th of February, from the Capitol in Richmond. This morning woke up to considerable snow. It took me longer to get up 9th Street to the Capitol than it took me to get into town. I know that folks in the western part of the state had a lot more snow than we did here, but it made for an interesting beginning of the day. I'm going to start doing some video reports to post on Facebook, and I hope this works out well. I'm going to try and keep them short. I want to talk about a couple of things that have happened over the course of the past couple of days, starting with the ABC privatization bill that I introduced last year, and this year the governor's office and the administration has adopted it as part of their transportation plan. The bill is one that I've worked closely with the administration on, and we decided that we're going to have to pull the plug on it, at least for this session. The bill came up in committee in finance yesterday, and at my request the bill has gone back for the year, and we're going to bring it back up either in a special transportation session if one is actually convened, or next year when we have all our ducks in a row, have a plan that everybody's said grace over and we can get passed. But we still believe that it is an important part of our transportation funding agenda, and that it has potential to generate somewhere between $300 and $500 million for roads and get Virginia out of a business that it had no business getting into in the first place. A second interesting development on the floor today, Senator Wagner from Virginia Beach had an offshore drilling bill in which he has made provisions for royalties from offshore drilling to be committed, again, to transportation improvements in the Commonwealth. The bill got out of committee, was on the floor and ready to be voted upon, but the Senate Democrats made a procedural move in order to try and kill the bill by sending it back to committee. And they admitted that was their purpose, was to send it back in order for it to die there. The bill died, went back to committee on a straight party line vote, and it really reflected a stark contrast between those who supported the bill, who want to promote self-sufficiency and energy independence here in the Commonwealth of Virginia and tap these natural resources for the good of the people of the Commonwealth, and those on the environmental left wing of the extreme wing of the spectrum. And there's no other way to explain it except that way. So in any event, that bill went back to committee where it's going to die, and it was curious in as much as Senator Warner and Senator Webb have also sided with Senator Wagner on this issue and have asked Congress and asked the President to open up these areas for drilling and to allow Virginia to get the royalty from these natural resources. Finally, today was Courts of Justice Committee meeting this afternoon. We met and undertook consideration of really most all of the so-called gun bills. The chairman of the Courts Committee saved those for the last day, really the last week of session, and a number of issues came up dealing with concealed carry permits and other issues. The so-called gun show loophole bill was put off, and it's going to be considered on Monday of next week, and that's really one of the last high-profile bills dealing with guns that's going to go through. Today, the committee did deal with Emmett Hanger's so-called Guns in Restaurants bill, which would allow concealed carry permit holders to carry their lawfully owned and lawfully carried weapon into restaurants that serve alcohol. Of course, the law does not permit them to consume alcohol while they're carrying. There's a zero tolerance for that. And the bill, much to my surprise, after the reorganization of the Senate, actually reported out of the Courts of Justice Committee on a 8-7 vote. We received 2 new Democratic members of the Courts of Justice Committee at the beginning of the year, and some of us thought that might upset the dynamics, but that bill passed the General Assembly, both chambers, last year, but you may recall it was vetoed by Governor Kane following the General Assembly session. This year, if it passes both chambers, and it looks like it's, of course, headed to the floor from the Senate, and I believe that it'll pass the Senate, it'll go to the governor's desk, where I believe that Governor McDonnell will sign that bill. So that's it from the Capitol for Wednesday. Look forward to another day ahead, and hopefully no snow here or in the valley. So thanks so much. I'll talk to you tomorrow.